Welcome to a bonus episode of the Germany Experience. I'm your host, Sean, and this is a very different episode to normal, of course. In fact, I'm recording this lying down, which is a first. If you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, you'll know that I ended up in hospital for a couple of nights last week. It's nothing serious and it was a fairly standard procedure, and I've got some information about that coming up in just a bit, but it does mean that I'll be out of action for a few weeks while I recover. So I won't be able to sit down and edit the podcast for a while. So what I'll be doing is putting out some episodes from 2019. And now this is something I was planning on doing anyway, because I was going to go on holiday for 2 weeks later on in August. And I was going to put out two best of 2019 episodes. But yeah, based on the current situation, I'll extend that to maybe 3 or 4 2019 episodes, which is cool for maybe newer listeners who haven't heard those old episodes, and also for people who maybe haven't heard them in a while to take a listen. Now, for a while, I've had what's called an inguinal. I don't know how to say it in English. I've never heard the word in English, but it's called an inguinal hernia, which I was able to live with for quite a while. But after experiencing some pain recently, my Hausarzt advised me to present myself at the Notaufnahme, or emergency room, of a nearby hospital, which, by the way, was not how I pictured it. It was very orderly and German, with everyone waiting in a line with their medical emergencies. I mean, I guess if someone had something serious, they'd get bumped up the queue. I hope. One would hope. Anyway, I digress. After the doctors realized there was a complication with my hernia, they pretty much operated right away. And it was, I must say, it was all very efficient and professional. But what this whole thing highlighted for me is that even after 13 years in Germany, I still struggle with German in situations like this, which can be pretty scary if you don't understand what's happening to you, or you need to make decisions about your health and you don't necessarily understand the ramifications of the decisions you're making or exactly what's being told to you. And I've learned not to be afraid to just ask multiple questions until you understand, because it's profoundly important. And that's what I did. I was in a lot of situations where I asked the doctors several times, even at the risk of annoying them, what am I understanding this correctly? What did you just say to me? And of course, there are still awkward moments caused by me not understanding people. For example, a nurse asked me after the operation, when I was brought into my room, haben Sie Wasser entlassen? I've never heard that formulation before. And what I know now is it means, did you pass water? Have you urinated? But I had no idea about that formulation, so I thought he was asking me if I wanted water. So I said, yes, please. So I guess I'll never be fully comfortable with this language. In my hospital room after the operation, and while I was very much under the influence of the drugs, I recorded a series of audio logs, which you'll hear now in this bonus episode. But before I play those, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who messaged me with well wishes while I was in the hospital and after I got out. You certainly helped keep my mood positive, and it was wonderful to know that you're thinking of me. So thank you so much for that. And now, a night in hospital, as told through several audio logs. So here I am, post hernia op, lying in a 3-person bedroom that's completely empty. Pandemic? What pandemic? There is open room, so everything went fine. And now first of all, it is damn hot. It's like in the middle of a heat wave outside. And when they brought me back from the operation, they kind of just had the heaviest blankets you could imagine put over me. And I've got limited mobility, so I've only had partly been able to remove them. So I'm hot, man. I'm hot. But it's all good. At least the pain isn't bad. I think they've put some painkillers in me, so it's feeling pretty good. But so here's the thing. So I apparently had some bleeding on one of the wounds that they made. And so I have to keep this like weighted sandbag thing
on my stomach. So I'm lying here with that on, but it means that I can't get up. But now, here's the thing. I am dying of thirst. I am so thirsty right now. It's not even funny. But they won't give me water until I urinate. But I can't urinate because I have this sandbag on my stomach that I need to keep on for another hour and a half, at least, I think. But the worst part is they've put the bottle of water on the table next to me. It's like being in the middle of a desert and having an oasis just outside of where you can reach to. It's almost cruel. Maybe they're doing some kind of psychological experiment. I don't know. But they did, in order so that I could drink the water and so that I could urinate, they brought me this weird container thing, like a urination container, I guess. Oh, no ways am I using that. I have to kind of like roll over and like urinate into it in the bed. Yeah, I'll wait the hour and a half. Yeah, so otherwise it's been a pretty good experience. And I'm looking forward to when the pain really kicks in, because right now it's feeling pretty okay. But I know that's the painkillers. So we'll see what happens later. So here's another memo. I'm lying in bed here, and I can hear the nurses outside. And suddenly I heard my name. They're pretty loud, I'll be honest. A little louder than I would have expected. I guess with people recovering, I would have thought they'd be a little more peaceful, but that's fine. You know, I'm all for having fun at work. You know, go ahead, have a laugh. But then I suddenly heard them say Sean. So obviously, I listened pretty closely. And then I tried not to laugh. I tried to laugh. It hurt so much to laugh. One of them says, Sean de Schaaf. And then there was mass giggling. Yeah, not the first time I've heard that, people. Not the first time. I had a bit of an embarrassing moment when the German nurse asked me, I don't know what he said, something about water. I guess the English equivalent would be, have you passed water? I just didn't understand what he was saying. Like, I don't know what that metaphor is or what that idiom is for urinating. And so he had to like ask me a second time, and I was like, yeah, I would like water. And he's like, no. And then he switched it to English, and he's like, have you peed yet? Urination. I'm like, okay, all right, dude, got it now. Thank you. You don't have to spell it out now. You could have just said, it means that you urinate or something. It's a lot funnier. I would be laughing more, but I'm like, I can't. The pain's coming back. So checking in, I'm feeling a little better. But two things. Firstly, it's still fucking hot. Secondly, I always make this mistake by these kind of procedures where straight afterwards I'm like, this wasn't so bad. I'm not so painful. Forgetting the fact that I'm pumped full of painkillers. And then, as the painkillers wear off, as they are now, you start noticing, maybe I'm not doing as well as I thought I was. Back to the AC issue, I got an Instagram message from someone named Vale Blandino. I can't remember the name now. And this person said, replied to an Instagram post where I said it's damn hot in this hospital room. And they wrote, I would have thought they'd have air conditioning in the hospital. Oh, Vale. You are new here. The Germans have AC nowhere. One thing you forget about medical procedures when you're not having medical procedures is just how little dignity you have in a hospital Like it's literally all of the rules go outside the window. They give you these ridiculous robes, which, I mean, is historically just ridiculous. And then as like underwear, they give you this weird mesh type fabric that's completely see-through. I mean, like, seriously, don't even bother. And then at one point, they were trying to, before the procedure, to see if they could get my intestines back into my body by pushing on the hernia, which, first of all, excruciatingly painful, first of all. Second of all, like, everything was just out and nurses were walking in and out during this whole procedure. I was like arching my back and grabbing on the bed and holding on for dear life to get over the pain. And yeah, it was just, just no dignity. So it's 2:00 in the morning, right? And we have these little things that we can press. I guess they call someone, and I when I did it earlier, it made this beeping sound. But now it's 2:00 in the morning. What is that beeping sound? Why aren't they doing anything about it? Like, why would you just leave it beeping at 2:00 in the morning? Are they trying to wake us up? Are we not supposed to get a good night's sleep in the hospital? Because then, I don't know, we can be annoyed during the rounds in the morning where we're half asleep. I don't know. What is going on? Just turn the beeping off. Turn the beeping off. Turn it off. I'm not kidding. It is like 5 minutes later, and that beeping sound is still going. What is it? What is it? Is it necessary for that sound to be beeping at 2:00 in the morning? What could it possibly be? Like, did they not hear it? Is someone not calling for something? What is it? If it's not someone calling for something, what is it? Like, why are we, honestly, it's a hospital. People need their recovery time. I'd actually dozed off before this noise. Oh, wait, I think it stopped. Nope, hasn't stopped. Okay, it's still going. And now I'm torn between wanting to call them myself by beeping my beeper and just ask them, like, why is that beeping at 2:00 in the morning? But then there's a part of me that's going, what if it's an important hospital function? Like that someone's being kept alive by that beeping. But why? What? Just turn it off. I want to sleep. I want to sleep.